All right, here we go. And it's going to be Super Bowl 56, the 56th AFL, I'm joking, AFL NFL championship game, Super Bowl 56 here in 2022. This will be the Cincinnati Bengals' third appearance, first two coming in losses to the San Francisco 49ers. And for the Los Angeles Rams, this is going to be their, second appearance in 4 years. And their fifth overall appearance as a franchise. Los Angeles Rams, Cincinnati Bengals. Line starts at 4. Rams are the favorite. Pete, who do you like?
Oh, man. Love the Bengals. That Cinderella story is looking real sweet right now. I mean, don't get me wrong. Bengals have played a lot of tough opponents to get to this point. So it's hard to gauge where do the LA Rams come into this mix? How tough are they versus their other opponents that they played? And I know that the Rams offense probably is the second best offense they played in this playoff run. It's going to be the second best offense after the Chiefs. And then defensively, the Rams are good, but you got to give Tennessee the nod and having a better defense. I would even go with
Cincinnati.
I'm sorry?
You said Tennessee, Cincinnati.
No, Tennessee.
No, Tennessee.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misheard.
They're past opponents. So I'm going to say Tennessee's defense was great. I know Aaron Donald's out there, and Eric Weddle's got a bunch of tackles and stuff. But
can I ask you something?
Yes.
Is anybody in Tennessee's secondary as good as Jalen Ramsey?
I don't believe so.
No. Tennessee's front four. I think Tennessee's front four is better.
Right.
But I think when you look at the all-around defense, the Rams are actually better. But that's just the
you don't need a secondary when you have a defensive line that gets after the quarterback, because it's just
right. But what if you have both, like the Rams? What if you have both? Isn't it better to have both?
Well, I mean, the Rams have guys like Von Miller are underplaying. I've watched the entire playoffs. This isn't like the way the Bucs played under Brady and the way Jason Pierre-Paul and these guys were just getting after the quarterbacks. I mean, Von Miller's really not – he's in one-on-one, and he's not beating his guy. I mean, Aaron Donald's getting triple teamed. If Aaron Donald's getting triple teamed, that means other guys should be able to get in. And the Rams, they're getting their sacks. But with Aaron Donald getting triple teamed and the names that they have out there, they should be getting about 5 sacks a game with those names, and they're not. So
yeah, but they were against good offensive lines. The thing that would be the weakness of this Bengals team, unfortunately.
That is true. And that is, I just want to add, I did put in a prop bet that there will be at least 7 sacks between the teams. That is one of my 7 sacks. Wow, I'm going 7 or more sacks in this game. But I definitely hear what you're saying. Continue.
There must be there must be a big carrot dangling at the end of that stick. 7 sacks is a lot for a
the over-under I saw was 3.5. I mean, so
double.
Yeah, again, good money.
Let me check the odds. Keep talking. I'm gonna check the odds on this one.
I don't know. What do they match up, James? What do you think in terms of those other teams? I know you think the Rams are at a different tier, but let's hear it.
Well, I don't know about like a different tier. I just think the Rams are a bad matchup for the Bengals. Tennessee smushed they smushed why can't I think of his name? The Bengals quarterback all game. Burrow, yeah. They got to him. They recorded a record number of sacks, but their offense let them down, Tennessee. I think the I think the balance on the Rams defense is a little bit better than Tennessee. I would say the Rams have a better front the Titans have a better front four than the Rams, but near the end of that 49ers game, the pressure started getting there. And as much as we like shit on Jimmy G, he was being pressured and getting hit a lot. And Aaron Donald and the former Bronco, what the fuck's his name? Von Miller, we're getting to him at the end of the game. Aaron Donald is still in his prime, and you're completely right. He has yet to have a statement game in the playoffs. I think that might be this game because you know, as much as they double and triple team him, the pressure might start leaking in the other side and through the middle. Jalen Ramsey's a lockdown secondary player. So, he's going to be able to take care of one of those three threats on the Bengals. The Bengals still have two good threats, and their tight end with the funny name. He's also, he's also a capable receiver. I just think is he back? I think he was probable.
Okay, because he got hurt in the game against the Chiefs, and I want to say the first quarter.
Right. Last I saw, I want to say he was probable. He was either questionable or probable. I want to say probable. I do like the Rams in this game because of that specific matchup. I think they're very similar teams on offense. I think the Bengals have an advantage with Mixon running the ball, but and the Rams have an advantage at top wide receiver with Cooper Kupp. But then it might if you had to pick the top six receivers, I think it goes Kupp and then the
all three Bengals receivers.
No, I would say
That's my opinion.
Jamar Chase and
Higgins is probably second.
Right. Yeah, and then third is either Odell and the other Bengals guy, but like it's pretty close in there. And then quarterback, as clutch as Burrow's been, he hasn't like lit it up in any of these games like crazy. He's been tough and clutch, but not like, slinging the ball all over the place for 1,000,000 yards like we saw Josh Allen and Mahomes do in that game between the Bills and the Chiefs. But he the quarterback position I'd call a wash. And like I think it's a very interesting Super Bowl. I look forward to seeing it. It's gonna be I have a feeling it's gonna be very watchable.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be fun, I think. I mean, take fan allegiances aside, it can't be much worse than last year as far as a competitive game goes.
Right.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna say I'm going with the Bengals. And the reason I'm going with the Bengals is for a couple of reasons. Number one, they have heart. They have momentum. They have a young coach. They have a guy that has these guys playing for each other. I think that is something that can't necessarily be taught. I think the Rams kind of have that too. I do think, though, with the free agency and stuff, you look at a lot of these Cincinnati players, a lot of them were there when this team was finished last in the league. There's still a bunch of those guys. They came up. They've showed that they're a little different. They've showed that they can fight through the adversity. I think that's a lot. As far as skill goes, I think we're going to see Joe Burrow have a coming out party here. I think this is somebody who 2 years ago won a national championship with LSU, Louisiana State in college. And that's, though it's not the same level as the NFL, you do get all that press attention. You do get thrown on that big stage. You do have these high pressure games. You do know all the money that's on the game. You do know the fans' commitments, how much people are into this. And I think a lot of that, and Jamar Chase was his wide receiver. I think a lot of that is going to play into this. I think the skills are there for the Cincinnati team with Joe Mixon in the backfield. If they get that run going, I think this is going to be a long night for the Los Angeles Rams.
I like it. You mentioned his national championship. What happened during his first year in the NFL?
He got his ass absolutely kicked and he broke his leg, and I think he learned from it. I think that's a lot of it.
Yeah. The Bengals only have two different linemen than the lineman that almost got him killed last year.
Wow. It's like Mahomes last year's Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah. So I as good as the stuff on paper looks, I'm questioning that offensive line. I think of all the units on either team, the offensive line of the Bengals is the most suspect. Every other unit is above average for both teams, and I think that makes for a very interesting Super Bowl.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Now, what do we think here? Do we think it's going to be a high-scoring Super Bowl or a low-scoring Super Bowl? Because I'm going to put it somewhere since Pete, my numbers, I'm putting it at 28-26, Cincinnati.
That would be the over. I'm going to say
no, but I have the 8 for the Bengals and the 6 for the Rams.
Oh, well, 28-26.
48 and a half.
48 and a half.
I don't think.
So I am saying the over.
All right. So the last 3 Super Bowls have all gone under. Does that affect your decision at all? I think generally we see, I can't say for sure, but I feel like there's almost always a low scoring first half outside of that, the nerves and everything. The Falcons against the Patriots that year had a high scoring Falcons first half, and we all know what happened there. But it's under over. It's
gonna be a field goal game.
I would slam the under. If I don't feel great about it, but I would have to slam the under at 40.
If you have Super Bowl boxes this year, it doesn't matter what number, you could have 2 and 5, and you have a good chance because there's going to be a lot of field goals in this game. Like everything what you said about Bengals offensive line, I think that comes into play. Bengals defense has been playing incredible this entire playoffs. Let's face it, their defense is the reason why they are where they are. I know everybody wants to look at Burrow and how much moxie he has in terms of being able to get up after being hit, and Stafford is the same kind of quarterback. If you really think about it, it's that mental toughness to stay in games and regardless of what happened the play before, to get up and just sling 20 yards downfield, it's incredible. It's almost like you're playing Madden, but the thing is like you said, the offensive line of the Bengals is going to come into play as it did in all their other games. And the Rams are probably the most well-rounded team all around that they've played. Whereas other teams like Tennessee had a better defense, but a terrible offense. And Kansas City had a better offense and not as good a defense. And then you got Rams that are like right in the middle of all that. I still think Burrow's going to get sacked. He's going to get all the pressures. They're going to kick field goals. When the ball goes the other way, the defense is going to stop them. We're going to see it. And I like the fourth quarter. I think the fourth quarter is going to be wild because this game is coming down.
That's all you could ask for.
Yeah,
it's what we saw. It's what we saw 2 years ago in Kansas City versus San Francisco. You do see that fourth quarter going wild.
I'd be really surprised to a blowout.
I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think the one thing too, we're running out of time before making predictions. The thing I find interesting too, it's a pretty cool game. Cincinnati, the Bengals have never won a Super Bowl. They have only been to 2 and they lost. There's no championships. This will be the first time the city of Cincinnati will be playing for a championship since 1990 when the Reds won the World Series. So good for them. That's over 30 years. So they're going there. The loss, interesting though, we all know the St. Louis Rams won a Super Bowl in 2099 season, but the Los Angeles Rams, their last NFL championship as the only one as the Los Angeles Rams occurred in 1951. So the Los Angeles Rams and the Cincinnati Bengals are due, it seems. So who do we let's throw our predictions out there. Let's throw a score. I said it before. I'm saying 28-26 Cincinnati.
23-19 Bengals.
23-19 Bengals. I like it.
Oh man, I'm starting to think in terms of my under over as well. I'm gonna go 23 no 30 I'm trying to get my box numbers involved too. Let me stop being a greedy asshole. Yeah,
my prediction I really am all based on my box numbers.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my box numbers involved, but let me stop all that. Let's say 27-20 Rams.
All right, I like it right there. A few field goals right there. Well,
all right.
Anything else, guys?
We how much time do we have left? I have a few things.
Oh, 5 minutes? Good. I'll keep going. I'm sorry.
We got 5 minutes? All right, great. Go. One thing I want to pose to you guys is, as much as I like the as I like the Rams in this game, which is not like a tremendous margin. I don't think it's like a slam dunk or anything. Don't get me wrong. I hate the way the Rams did this year. It felt like basketball. They brought in all these malcontent guys. 108-year-old Eric Weddle came back from fishing to play for them. I don't really like that basketball feeling of like, I don't want to play here anymore. Send me somewhere where I could win. I don't
It was the 1995 Dallas Cowboys is what it was. Remember that team? Where they just stocked up with like Deion Sanders and all these other free agents.
James, you got a good point. We can't let this keep happening because it happened last year with the Bucs. This whole like all these guys coming out to to come onto a team just to win titles. We can't have this happen twice in a row because then it's gonna become almost contagious. But continue.
100%. I worry about this. Like basketball is completely infected by this. You don't want to be where you are, so you fake an injury until they trade you. You sit out, citing you sit out, and your team gives you a hard time, and then you cite mental illness when they bring money up, so they can't touch the money. I think it's disgusting. I really hope it doesn't make its way over to football in a big way. I think that needs to be watched out for.
Yeah, this is also the other thing too that we didn't mention is this had never happened in the previous 54 Super Bowls, but this will be the second year in a row. This will be a home game played at the home stadium for teams. I mean, San Francisco in the one they played against, I know the one the 49ers played against Dan Marino and the Dolphins in the 80s was in the Bay Area, but it was played at the stadium in Stanford University. So not exactly the same locker room, but that could be interesting, I think.
Super Bowl should just be in Detroit every year.
Detroit every year, or Dallas, or Arlington, Texas, as the
I know that
exactly.
I know that joke, but it's realistically Detroit.
Yeah. Although, do you realize though, if you were to put it in the Cowboy Stadium, that would be the year they get there?
Probably.
Not
really. Not really.
All right. So, some interesting numbers I got jotted down here. What do you think the highest total ever was for a Super Bowl?
Like total points?
Total points, yes.
It's either the one with San Francisco and San Diego, or one of the ones with Dallas and Buffalo. So it's got to be like 70 something.
I have a feeling it's the Raiders Tampa game back in 2001. That game had a lot.
That too, yeah.
That was what the final score of that game, wasn't it 38-21 or something?
Yeah, because Tampa got all those defensive touchdowns at the end.
Right, all late. They scored a lot of defense.
What's the answer?
San Diego versus San Francisco, 49
I want to say 49-26.
Yes.
Boom.
A lot of
5
points.
touchdown passes from Steve Young. I remember I was watching with my dad and he left to go watch The Simpsons. It got so boring.
In an absolute trouncing.
I was discussing that game. Yeah. Well, we could always do a show if you want on the most watchable, the best and worst Super Bowls in the offseason. We could figure
that would be interesting. We'd have to study up on that.
Well, the worst Super Bowl I've ever watched in my lifetime was probably Rams against the Patriots, but that 10-7 game.
The 13-3 one, yeah.
Oh, 13-3, whatever the score was.
The worst one I could remember sitting down and watching, because I'm old enough to remember it. 49ers versus Broncos, where Montana beat Elway 56-10, and he's up 56-3, and Elway gets a rushing touchdown and doesn't even celebrate. He's so pissed off. Watch the clip of that. I'll send it to you guys. But that's the worst Super Bowl I've ever seen.
That's good.
Yeah. Disgusting. You guys know the biggest upset in Super Bowl history?
I would say it's got to be Patriots over Rams, because I think that was higher than Namath and the Jets. Patriots Giants? No,
you got it right, Greg, but reversed. It was the Jets. Jets were a 17-point underdog against the
the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they were slightly.
What were the Rams then in the Patriots in the one with Brady's first one?
We'll have to look at it. With 13-point favorites that game. I think
makes sense.
I think that the Patriots were double-digit point favorites.
14.
Yeah, so it is the Jets. It is the Jets. So yeah, now that makes sense. That makes sense. Although we have to go. Although the other thing too, I could do at work today because I'm interested to see how many Super Bowls cover the spread.
Less than a minute.
Less than a minute.
Well, all right. Real quick with that. Do you guys know the last team to lose the game but beat the spread?
Lose the game, beat the spread.
It doesn't happen much.
I don't know. I'm going to say lose the game, beat the spread. I'm going to go Patriots against the Eagles.
Yes.
No, but the Eagles did beat the spread in that game